Hey guys, it is Stephanie with Festive Creations by Stephanie. Look what I have. I have a farmhouse sign, a grapevine wreath. I have some beautiful summer flowers, and I have ribbon. I'm Stephanie Williams with Festive Creations by Stephanie, where we inspire and mentor others. So this is not like your bright red that you would use. This is more like the rustic red. So it's actually called burgundy in my store. I also brought out some yellow penta and then some sunflowers from my store. This is actually a 6-foot garland. It's a summer garland. And look at the geraniums on there in the dark red. So remember, I said this red is not like the real bright, vibrant red. This is more the darker red in the color. So I want to pull out the color from that. So this is actually on like a grapevine already. So they took the garland, attach it to the grapevine, but we're going to take it and attach it to our grapevine. This actually has some ends on it that I'm going to cut off that wire end because I really don't need it to extend past here. And we're going to attach it directly to our grapevine. So you can attach it in different ways, and it's going to be longer. It's going to have more length than our grapevine itself. So I have to decide my decision on where I want that extra layer. See how it crosses over there? But I want the extra fullness down towards the bottom. So I'm just going to bend this around and make it conform like I always do to the shape of my grapevine. And of course that wire in there is, or that greenery is, that green stem is wired. But we're going to have to make it conform here. We're going to take some smaller zip ties. If I had some darker ones, I would use those, but we're going to be able to camouflage these white ones. So we're going to use this, the zip ties, and we're going to just take it barely in. We're not going to go all the way through our grapevine. So I'm going to grab some of the vines here. I'm going to attach my grapevine to my grapevine. That's redundant, isn't it? And we're just going to start attaching those sporadically all the way around here. And I'm going to kind of do this one a little off to the side, because when we place our sign on this, I don't want to cover up all of my geraniums. That's part of my color, right? What's my... So again, I'm just going to grab a few of those vines and zip tie this to the vine. And then we're going to go back and cut off these zip ties where they're sticking out, because we're going to be able to camouflage those super duper easy. To begin with. All right, so see how this is going to overlap? I wanted this to overlap towards the bottom. So that's where I wanted my fullness to be. So it's kind of doubled up. And it's going to depend on the size of your grapevine and the shape, etc. So just by buying these garlands, guys, get them on clearance at the end of the season. All right, so now I'm going to take off and trim back all of these zip ties that we just added, so our wreath doesn't have all these horns, right? Now, check out this bow. So here is our bow using the 3 ribbons in the denim farmhouse. So we've got the farmhouse ribbon. we've got the Farmhouse Denim Blue Stripe, and then we have the 1.5 inch burgundy. It's actually called burgundy, and it's a darker red, like that deep red color, right? So I made this with some long tails just in case, because I wasn't sure what I wanted as far as length goes on here. So let's bring it back down to our wreath. And our bow is actually going to sit right up here. My wire really long because I never know sometimes what I'm going to attach my bows to, even though I knew I was using this one, but it's just habit. It's just habit, and they're easier for me to maneuver through my grapevine. Guys, I don't know about you, but sometimes getting through the grapevine can be a little bit tedious and nerve-wracking. All right, so this bow is actually going to kind of sit off to the side a little bit. I don't want it directly in the center, and placement is going to be critical on this because, and I don't have this tied down yet on purpose, because when we add our sign, we're actually going to put it at a little bit of an angle, and so I don't want the bow covering up our sign, the tails of our bow. So I'm going to offset the bow a little to the side so it doesn't interfere. And then we're going to curl these a little bit and give them that curl. But we want our sign just a little bit at an angle. So just to kind of give that visual presence of variety there, not so cookie cutter, right? So I kind of like the placement of it there. So let me, all right, so I have trimmed off my wire back here, and I'm going to tuck that in. And then, of course, I will go back and we're going to add our sign. Now, you can or cannot leave, it's your choice whether or not you want to use the jute roping on the sign. A lot of times it just depends on what project I'm working on. So, and if it integrates with my design. And in this case, it's going to come off, but I want to see my placement of my sign first. I want to go down a little bit, I think. Yes. Yes, about right there and there. So we're going to go close to the edge. So let's cut off our roping. All right, so with these MDF signs, my 1/4 inch staples are perfect. They don't go through it at all. But I'm going to kind of go down here in the corner. Loud noise. The best staple gun ever. Best Christmas present ever. Or birthday. I don't remember if it's Christmas or birthday, but they both are there close together. And then I'm going to put one more up here. And I always put a couple of staples in, and then I like to go back and put a spot of glue on top. I just turned on my... Okay. So now I'm going to take my chenille stems, pipe cleaners, whatever you call them, and now they've got a double whammy. So now we have our, and I only have it on 3 corners for a reason, because we're going to angle this, and this corner won't be able to hold on to anything. So this sunflower bush actually will expand. It looked kind of lame there in the package, but watch what happens when I expand this puppy. Look at all that beautiful greenery in there. So there's some glue. Guys, I really, really like that with the sunflowers. So now we're going to bring some additional colors in here. And I think I'm going to use this penta from my store. So this is the 28-inch long penta, but I don't need it quite that long. So I'm going to shave it down a little bit. And I'm going to integrate some up here. Oh, and I think I forgot to take this out of my inventory. I better make sure I do that. So just like that, we took that garland, added that red, we added a bush, the sunflower bush, and just a little bit of penta. Not a whole lot. And so let's fix our tails on our bow and get that to play nice in the sandbox here. Now, if you will notice, let me get this fixed here, that when I made my bow, which I didn't do that on camera, guys, but all my farmhouse, my print is facing the right direction. So what do you think? All right, guys. Well, I thought you might enjoy hanging out while I made that, put that one together. I do a lot of farmhouse, rustic, primitive. I love that look. And of course, I live in the rural area, so it's very popular, but I sell on Etsy, and believe it or not, farmhouse is still very, 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 very popular.